What is up, you guys? I am Miss Renee, and in today's video, we're going to talk about this concept of thoughts create your reality, and how this is a very common misconception when it comes to manifestation. We're going to talk about our thoughts, what they are, and the role that they play in conscious creation, which, spoiler alert, it's not what most people think. So if manifestation and conscious creation are topics that you are interested in learning more about, then definitely do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that way you're notified when I release new videos every week. If you are interested in more resources, such as working with me one-on-one or my brand new Facebook group, I will have links to those down in the description box below, so definitely do not forget to check it out. If you are at all familiar with the concept of manifestation, I am more than certain that you have heard the phrase, thoughts create, and that your thoughts create your reality. I see this concept everywhere, and I hear it from everyone. I see it in posts, I see it in the comments, I hear it from the people that I talk to, whether that's clients or friends or others. And so I really felt the strong urge to create this video and help clarify, because this concept of your thoughts create your reality is a misconception. And it could be a huge reason as to why you are struggling to manifest what you want. So if this sounds like a topic that you are interested in learning more about, then definitely stick around to the end of the video, because we're going to talk about the misconception that thoughts create your reality. I'm going to break down what the thoughts really are and what actually creates your reality, so that you can have the clarity and understanding to move forward and manifest whatever it is that you want. So diving right into this, there is an overwhelming amount of information being taught out there that your thoughts create reality. I would be willing to bet money that virtually everyone watching this video has heard that statement before. But the truth is that your thoughts by themselves don't have any power. Thoughts are just thoughts. They don't have any meaningful significance by themselves. And I know that that statement is going to send some people reeling, but this is so important to understand, because I see far too many people getting hung up on their thoughts, and that it's the thoughts that create the outcome in the 3D. This concept is a component that has seeped over from the law of attraction teachings. And in the law of attraction, it is very much taught that your thoughts, in fact, do create. But I want to put this misconception to bed once and for all, because again, your thoughts by themselves don't have power over you. You can have thoughts that come through your mind all day long that ultimately never come to fruition. And in fact, we have on average about 60,000 thoughts that cross our mind every day. Now, if we were to believe that all of these thoughts created our reality, to say that it would be complete chaos would be an understatement. Your thoughts themselves are just a byproduct of the state of consciousness that you dwell in. It is a consequence of the subconscious programming, nothing more. And this teaching about thoughts creating your reality can actually have some negative side effects and consequences from it. And I know I certainly suffered the consequence of this when I followed the law of attraction, and when I was under the impression that your thoughts create your reality. Because what happens is we get so anxious if one single negative thought pops up in our mind. We will stress out, and we will shut down, and we will try to suppress it, which, as I've talked about several times, suppressing the feeling and emotion and belief is only going to make things harder for you. So we cannot do this. We do not need to fear our thoughts. Our thoughts in and of themselves are not the magical power that creates and determines what happens to us. Your thoughts are just a product of the subconscious mind. It is just a product of the state of consciousness that you dwell in. So if it's not your thoughts that create, then what does? At the core of all of this, the thing that's going to determine your experiences in the 3D and the thoughts and the reactions that you have is your beliefs and your assumptions. So if you take only one thing away from this entire video, let it be that it's not your thoughts that create your reality. It's your beliefs and assumptions that do. Hence why Neville taught the law of assumption. It is through your beliefs and your assumptions that determine the state of consciousness that you dwell in, aka the reality that you experience. And each state of consciousness comes complete with its own set of events, experiences, moods, and thought. The thought is a product of the state of consciousness. And that state of consciousness that you dwell in is going to be determined by the beliefs and assumptions that you carry. This is why you do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. You manifest what you believe yourself to be. Your assumptions tell the story of who you believe you are and how you believe the world around you works. And it is the sum total of these beliefs and assumptions that form the concept of self, the self-concept that you carry. This is why self-concept is so incredibly important when it comes to manifestation, because it is through these bodies of beliefs that determine the state of consciousness or the reality that you experience. And these body of beliefs are the sum total of the self-concept that you carry. Every single condition of your life is there because of these beliefs that you hold. So you can look at the beliefs and assumptions as the building blocks that form your concept of self. And it is these building blocks that ultimately determine the reality that you experience or the state of consciousness that you dwell in. And all of creation is already finished, as I have said many times before. And all of these states exist right now in consciousness as mere possibilities. It is the building blocks of belief and assumption that turn a possibility into your reality. It is the building blocks of belief and assumption that will make the difference between what is a possibility for you and what is a reality for you. And your thoughts are just a product of this state that you dwell in. It is a product of the belief and assumption that you carry. This is why it seems like we don't have much control over these thoughts, because the thoughts are stemming from the belief, which is subconscious. This is why Neville banged on about the importance of changing the assumption that you carry. You need to change the beliefs if you are to change the thoughts, not the other way around. And let me try to give you an example to break down what I'm talking about. Let's say that you are going after your dream house and you have a very strong conviction that you are going to get this house. You have zero doubt at all that this is yours. And let's say for some reason something terrible happens in this time. Maybe your boyfriend breaks up with you or your pet dies. Well, naturally, you're going to be pretty distraught and you're going to be pretty upset about the event that unfolded. But regardless, you still wound up getting that house, even though your thoughts were probably pretty terrible at the time. And that is because you did not have any resistance to the idea of owning a new home. This is what I mean when I say it's the belief and the conviction. It is the assumption that's going to determine what happens. And Neville even talks about this and has confirmed it many times through his lectures and books, such as this excerpt from At Your Command. You do not command things to appear by your words or loud affirmations. Such vain repetition is more often than not confirmation of the opposite. Decreeing is ever done in consciousness. That is, every man is conscious of being that which he has decreed himself to be. So it is what you have decreed or what you believe is true for you that is ultimately going to be the reality that comes to fruition for you. It is not your thoughts that ultimately determine what is going to happen for you, despite what many people try to say otherwise. These thoughts are just rambling sheep, as Neville put it, without a shepherd. And the shepherd is your imagination. The way to change these beliefs, or these building blocks that create your self-concept, is through imagination. Your imagination is your shepherd. This is how you go about creating the change that you desire to see in your reality. Because it is through the imagination that we can begin to feel ourselves as the person that we desire to be, or having the experience that we desire to have. And it is this medium of feeling that becomes impressed subconsciously, which, if impressed subconsciously, must materialize externally. Imagination is the doorway to consciousness and to all things that already exist. There is no limitation to what you can imagine or what you can imagine yourself to be. And once you have felt this desire in imagination, once you have impressed this subconsciously, you'll notice that your thoughts naturally begin to shift. You'll notice that the feeling stays with you more and more throughout your day. We do not have to freak out and stress over every single thought that crosses our mind throughout the day. This is exhausting. And there are much more effective ways to go about bringing that subconscious change that we desire. Since your thoughts are the byproduct of the state you dwell in, which is based on the beliefs, once you have impressed these new beliefs and ideas subconsciously through imagination, the thoughts will begin to change on its own. We do not have to force our thoughts. We do not have to fear our thoughts. We do not have to be at the mercy of our thoughts. Now, with everything said, I do want to emphasize that our thoughts can be very helpful and important, so we should definitely always be mindful of them, because you can use your thoughts just like you use the 3D reality as feedback. Use it as clues to help you determine the dominant state that you dwell in. Just like we should look to the 3D as feedback, we should do the same with our thoughts. Use them as a gauge to help you determine the dominant state of consciousness that you dwell in, or the dominant beliefs that you carry. So for example, if you are trying to manifest a specific person, if you notice throughout your day that you are feeling very anxious, having a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative inner conversation, a lot of mental arguments, that is feedback telling you the state of consciousness that you have been occupying. It is a gauge to let you know where you are moving in consciousness. So I don't want to give the impression that our thoughts are not important, because the thoughts, just like the events in the 3D, are going to show you where you are spending your time and whether or not you are effectively moving into that new wanted state of consciousness or not. If you notice consistent thoughts that are not in line with what you desire to experience, that is a signal to you that you have been spending too much time in that unwanted state, and that you should go back into imagination and feel that place that you desire to experience. Feel yourself as the person that you desire to be. Because it is once you have moved into a new state, a new dominant state of consciousness, that your thoughts are naturally going to change. The negative thoughts are naturally going to cease. You are going to naturally feel less anxious. This is a noticeable shift that you are going to be aware of once you make the move into that desired state. It is after this internal shift that you're going to start seeing things conform in the 3D. This is why Neville always said that signs follow. They do not precede. You will not notice that change on the outside until you have moved on the inside. So going forward, do not fear your thoughts. So going forward, make sure you do not fear your thoughts. Do not try to suppress them or suppress whatever is going on. Be observant of them. Be aware of your thoughts, because the thoughts just like the 3D circumstances are feedback as to what state you have been occupying and what the dominant beliefs and assumptions are that you hold. Use your thoughts as a guide to help you know which state of consciousness you occupy, because that is what's going to determine what happens in your 3D experience. The thoughts themselves do not hold power over you. This is why using vain affirmations in repetition is not going to bring you the desired change that you want to see. Instead, use the most powerful tool that you have been given. Anything that you want to see happen in your 3D comes first through the imagination. And it's with this incredible tool that you can begin to change these beliefs and assumptions. You can begin to build new foundations of this concept of self. And by doing this, you're going to notice a change in the thoughts as well as a change in the 3D. It is the belief and assumption that creates your reality, and it is your imagination that can change this reality. So to recap, your thoughts are not what manifests. Your thoughts themselves do not have the power to create. Your thoughts are a byproduct of the beliefs and assumptions that you carry. Your thoughts are just the byproduct of the state of consciousness or the reality that you dwell in. And this state of consciousness is going to be determined by the beliefs and assumptions that you carry. So if you are to change your world, if you are to experience something radically different, you must first change the belief. You must first change the assumption. You must first change the concepts that you carry in regards to others and in regards to the world around you. And it is through the imagination that these changes occur. It is through imagination that you can go anywhere and do anything and be whoever you want and see and feel and experience whatever you want. There is no limits to what you can imagine, just as there are no limits to what exists in consciousness. Once you have changed the belief and assumption through imagination, the thoughts and 3D circumstances naturally change with it. And once you really know this, once you truly grasp this concept, and once you begin to apply it in your day-to-day, that is how you change your thoughts. And that is how you manifest anything that you want. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it informative. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, such as one-on-one coaching, my blog, my social channels, new Facebook group, podcast, I got a whole lot of goodies in that description box, so do not forget to check it out. Also, do not forget to check out these videos over here. Each video is a different topic, but it all talks about how to manifest the best life possible. So until we meet again, take care, be well, and never forget, your thoughts don't create reality. Your beliefs do. Happy manifesting, y'all.